Hi, I'm Greg Meyer. I'm a senior product manager here at Hunter Engineering, and we're going to talk about Road Force WalkAway. And specifically, what we're going to do today is we have a door-to-door process, and it's a video that's uncut. What we're going to do is we're going to pull a car into the bay, we're going to lift the car, take the wheels off, change 4 tires, balance those tires, put them back on the car and back out of the bay. This is an uncut video, and what you'll notice, it's not perfect. There are some little bobbles and things, but these are real things that will happen in your shop as well. What I'll be doing is narrating this and talking about what we're doing and why we're doing it. At key points, I'm going to break in and we're going to pause the video so we can discuss what you're seeing so that we can understand what's happening. Your process will almost certainly be a bit different. Maybe your tire changer and balancer are in a different position, your lifts are different, but that's okay. If we understand the key parts, then you'll be able to integrate this into your process. In this video, we're going to watch how Road Force WalkAway and Maverick work together. So let's roll the tape. So now he pulls the car in. In this case, we're using a pad lift. You may use a 2-post lift, but the lifting times are fairly similar. Now you'll notice that here, David removed all 4 tires before starting the process. This is very similar to a traditional tire changer. What he's basically going to do is stage these tires before he starts changing them. Here he's removing the valve cores of the other assemblies. And now he's going to use the wheel lift on the Maverick Pro to lift the tire up and clamp it up onto the tire changer. Now, as he's changing this tire on the Maverick Pro, notice how little effort he's exerting. The tire changer is going to push on the beads with the rollers. The hook will insert automatically, so he's not using levers. And he's basically just using the joysticks and monitoring the process. But this is a key bit of information here, because what this is also going to do is not only lower his effort significantly, it's also going to reduce the variability of the process. So he'll be able to change this relatively easy tire quickly, but he'll also be able to change much more challenging assemblies in the same amount of time. So consistency in the tire changing process is going to allow you to schedule work much more effectively in your bays. Now David is going to rework the TPMS sensor on this rim, and we're going to do that on all 4 rims for consistency. You may not do this on every single rim in your shop, but we'll do it just to keep everything the same. Now here, David's gonna connect the chuck and put some air into the tire, but he's only gonna put enough air in to seal the tire on the rim. He just wants it to hold air, because then what he's gonna do is take that assembly off, bring it to the Road Force WalkAway, and let it inflate, seat the beads, and measure imbalance. That's a key part of how we're gonna save time with this process. So now that he's finished the assembly, the wheel lift takes it off the changer for him. He rolls it over to Road Force WalkAway. He's gonna pick out his collet, and he's gonna start the inflation process. Now once he gets the assembly clamped up on the balancer, he's gonna do that with the speed clamp to make it faster and easier. You'll see that he brings the valve stem around to 9 o'clock, or roughly waist high for him, connects the chuck. This is an important moment right here. You'll notice he's pressing the screen. What he's doing is pressing the Enable Bead Seat Mode button. What that's gonna do is overinflate the tire to 40 PSI, and then wait there for a few seconds and then bring it back to the set point, whatever he's entered. This is going to make sure that the beads have seated properly, because if you recall, he's only put a few PSI of air into the tire at the tire changer. When he hits this button, we're also going to bring in the load roller every single time and measure road force. This will allow us to check to make sure the bead's seated. And the way we do that is, if the beads don't seat, we'll get extremely high road force numbers. When he returns to the balancer, in that case, he would see a message that says the beads likely didn't seat. Please check. Now again here, now he's gonna start changing assembly number 2. Again, the machine lifts it for him, drops it in place, and he'll clamp it up. In this case, he forgot to remove the center cap, so he just popped it off quickly. Again, the Maverick Pro is doing the work for David, so all he's doing is running the joysticks and watching the tire change. Now here, David is reworking the TPMS sensor. Just as before, he's only going to put a little bit of air in this tire because he wants to have as much walk-away time as possible. You'll notice that the balancer has completed its task. That tire is inflated with beads seated and it's ready to go. So now as he rolls the second assembly over to the Road Force WalkAway, all he has to do is apply his weights that are called out on the screen. The machine is servoed into position. It's ready for him to do that. And then he'll perform his check spin, place assembly 2 onto the Road Force WalkAway balancer, and then return to the tire changer so that he can start working on assembly number 3. Now you'll notice he just set assembly number 1 on the ground. Later he's going to take some opportunity when he gets a second to run that back to the vehicle. Now again, he's going to install the chuck onto the assembly, start bead seating mode, and now he's going to work on changing assembly number 3. Now you'll notice on the balancer, the walk-away time is displayed. That's an estimate of how long it'll take to inflate the tire and balance it. David takes a look over now and again to see how it's going. In this case, the balancer will finish before he's finished changing the tire. One more time, he's reworking his TPMS sensor on this rim. Now the balancer has completed the inflation process and it's spinning up to measure imbalance and road force. Again, just as before, David's going to put just enough air in to make sure that it's going to hold air or seal the tire onto the rim. Now as he rolls assembly number 3 over to the balancer, he completes the balance of assembly number 2 by installing his weights. And then he'll switch out the 2 assemblies and repeat the process. Now he's completed the balance of assembly number 2. He's going to set that down. And he's going to start the inflation the bead seating and the balancing of assembly number 3. Cleans off his weights. And one more time, you'll notice that after he pulls the hood down, he's going to press the bead seat mode button. Now in this case, as he was walking back to the tire changer, he just rolled assembly 1 and 2 over to the car and just leaned them up against the car so that he can come back later to install them. Let's continue watching as David works. This is a key moment right here. David's about to add air to the final assembly on the Maverick Pro tire changer, but he sees that the Road Force WalkAway has completed and it's waiting for him. So what he's going to do is just put in a little bit of air as before and take the assembly over to the balancer and let it start inflating and balancing while he goes and installs the assemblies on the car. Now, as we mentioned, he knows that the beads are seated on this last assembly, so he doesn't enable bead seating mode. He's just going to inflate while he takes the other tires to the vehicle. Now David's going to complete the balance of assembly number 4 by placing the wheel weights, and then he's going to perform his check spin and return it to the car. Now David grabs his gun here as he walks by, and he's going to install assembly 3 and 4 onto the vehicle and pre-torque the lugs. So while he's doing this, it's a good time to talk about what we saw here. So not only did we see a process that was significantly faster than a traditional balancer, but also significantly more repeatable. So the tire changer is providing the repeatability. So Maverick Pro in this case changes every tire essentially in the same amount of time. Whereas the Road Force WalkAway is what's really providing the time savings. So those two together make a very powerful combination. After he pre-torques his final wheel here, he's going to lower the vehicle down and then torque each of the lug nuts properly. Okay, now that David has completed the torquing of the lug nuts, he's going to lower the pad lift the rest of the way. He's going to hop in the car and back off the lift and out of the bay. And the process is complete.